Listen, if you're watching this video, you're part of the group of business owners who are never able to extract and target their ICP through content. You have probably tried to create Instagram Reels in the next setting format, right? In which you're trying to target like the top 1% of the audience that you have and try to get viable prospects to watch your content to maybe even convert to clients. But you're never able to do that. You're never able to actually extract the correct percentage of audiences. I have found a literal way to force Instagram to show your B2B reels to the correct audience that you want. And I'm going to show you the entire strategy in this video. And I'm able to do this with less than 2,000 followers on Instagram. And I'm able to target the likes of this guy and more to watch my content and actually interact with what I do. I have understood this because fundamentally, everything is based on biology. Whether you like it or not, whether you love biology or not, everything is based on biology. And if you do not understand this one simple tendency of humans, that is the tribal tendency, you're never going to be able to convert any people or even target the right audiences. You need to understand this one thing. Like attracts like. That means no matter who you are, you're always going to have a higher proportionate of people who watch your content who are just like you. And by this, I don't mean personality wise, I sort of mean personality wise, but basically, your race, your culture, and your level. If you're Chinese, if you're Asian, you're more likely to have an Asian audience. If you're Indian, you're more likely to have a brown audience. If you're European, you're more likely to have a whiter audience. Culture. If you're African, you're more likely to have an African audience. Level. If you're a beginner, you're more likely to have beginners who follow you. But this doesn't really apply to experts because there's always going to be a divide in the people who follow you. But level doesn't actually matter. This is what I'm trying to understand. And I'm trying to convince you about. Because a higher proportion of people who watch your content is always going to be the people who are never going to buy. These are the exact sort of people who are just going to interact with your content, who are never actually going to buy. They're just like the people who make you feel good by giving you the likes and follows and, the comments and stuff. What we are trying to do is target the rest of the people who are actually going to buy. People who are actually willing to pay you money. Now, how do you do that? The way you do that is by targeting the higher percentage buyers in your exact market. And we want to reach a point wherein we're able to extract them, specifically extract them, so that you're able to convert them in your conversion mechanisms. First things first, you need to understand is messaging. You cannot be chasing views anymore. If you're chasing views and trying to go viral and thinking like, okay, I need 10,000 views on my Instagram reels to, maybe like get some conversions, you're wrong. You're being delusional. The big problem is that there are few things that is actually going to hold you back. And I'm going to reveal those things right now to you, which are going to make a lot of sense to you. How many times has it happened that you've probably got like, let's say like you normally get 100 views. How many times has it happened that you got 20 views and you felt that this reel was a flop? You felt that this reel was a waste of time, it was a failure. How many times do you think that has happened to you? A lot. Everybody's felt that. Why? Because your brain, in a sense, always is going to prioritize social value over real value. For example, if this reel was targeted towards billionaires and it got 20 views, providing that context, 20 views seems really good. Let's imagine a scenario in which like you can instantly, decide. Like for example, if I want to target billionaires, my content is going to be shown to billionaires only. And I get 20 views. 20 views is a lot, bro. 20 billionaires who watch your content, that's a huge amount. But the moment you remove this context, because this does not exist in real life, right? You cannot tell Instagram, show this to this subsection of society who have got this much income to buy my shit. You can't do that. Because you're placing vanity metrics as such an important factor for you, you're placing yourself in a position which is unoptimized. You're in a position which is unoptimized for you. Because you need to understand this. You need to craft your script to filter out broke, unqualified viewers and pull in the exact people you want. My reels on average get 1,000 views. Maybe sometimes, I'll cross 10K, 20K, 30K barrier, but usually I get 1.5K to 2K views. Most people who will look like this and be like, okay, this is really shit, really shit metrics, really shit performance. But you don't understand this. My content is not for everyone. It's specifically for the very specific group of people that I target. Imagine, this is the sort of people that I target. So obviously, these people who are more likely to just binge across my content and not do anything about it are never actually going to watch my content, which is actually good for me because now I am filtering them out. So my messaging is being shown to my ICP or potential ICPs, which creates so much more leverage because firstly, I don't need to chase behind views. Views is not important to me anymore. Do you know what is important to me now? Lead first engagement. That is getting the right people, 80% qualified people to watch my content. 80% of the qualified people to watch my content, which in turn is going to make them interact more because of the next strategy that I use. That is stories. For example, now this is like the main thing you need to understand. Like imagine like a pipe. And the pipe gets increasingly thinner. So if you have water going inside the pipe, right? For example, let's say you've got water going inside the pipe. Slowly and steadily, you're going to find, you know, like the water is getting like pressurized. Why does this happen? Because most people's content looks like this, right? Most people's content looks like this. For example, let's think of this scenario. Let's say this is the total audience that you get. You cannot really fulfill your pipeline. Like, for example, let me just articulate this better so you understand this properly. Your pipeline can can hold water at 100% capacity. 100% capacity, it's going to be the most optimal pipe that you can ever build. Now, you can either fill this pipe with 100% of potential ICPs or a split of 50% of not potential ICPs and 50% of potential ICPs. Do you realize that this is the most superior method to go with? Logically, it makes sense. This is the most superior method. But for most people, it doesn't make sense because they value vanity metrics over this. What I value is lead first engagement. If I get 20 likes, but those 20 likes are from people who actually have some substance, who are actually semi qualified, that reel has a higher success metric for me than the other reels which get a lot of views. But still, you will get unqualified attention. And this is where stories are very important. You need to share high value content that solves real pain points. Your story sequences must specifically filter out people and always have a CTA. For example, a lot of you watching this have come to this video because of the fact that I ran a story sequence. If you're discovering this on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram. Link is in the description. You can see what stories are, so you know what I'm talking about. The more specific, the more your ICP leans in. It's sort of like a filtering mechanism. You just filter, you constantly filter out bad shit, so that ultimately all you're left with is the good shit. And the way you do that is with the positive feedback loop. This is the only way that I have found which forces Instagram to basically push out your content to the right people. Because ultimately, Instagram optimizes for engagement. If you have higher engagement, you can create leverage in such a way that you're able to essentially just reach a point wherein you're able to push out the content at a huge exponential rate. The way you do that is by getting the right people to comment because Instagram looks at it like this: engagement. Who is engaging? Oh, this person is engaging. Let's recommend it to a similar subset of audiences. That's how algorithms function, social media algorithms function. Now, mostly what people do is that they'll have a CTA to a lead magnet. and this is something I've tested out. They'll have a CTA to a lead magnet. Now, you can have this, but guess what? You can't really create a lead magnet for every single video, right? It's a lot of shit, it's a lot of stress. You don't want to be doing that. The fastest way to add a call to action that feels like voting. What does that even mean? You create you create a CTA. For example, this is one of the CTAs that I used in this reel. Where is it? This one. I use this exact format in this CTA. I told, if you want me to reveal these strategies, comment down below yes. I don't have to reveal them. I don't have to send any resource. I don't have to send anything, no DMs, no, none of that fucking shit. This is just like voting. Essentially, you have people who are voting for you. I got so many people to comment yes. And there's a reason why I got so many people to comment. But why this works is because this is very low barrier to entry. This is very low barrier to entry. You need to understand this, right? People don't want to make efforts. People don't want to make efforts. They hate making efforts. So if you can make the steps that they need to take to become your client as easy as possible, they're more likely to do it. The most important thing is getting the first 20 people to vote. And that comes purely through your script. Getting the first 20 people to comment down below X keyword so that you can ultimately create a long form video about that thing is entirely dependent upon the script that you have. That's it. There's no shortcut to it. But the crazy part about this is that if you can get the first 20 people to comment, suddenly everyone else will follow. I found this out. If you can get 20 people to comment, you're going to have everybody fall in line. Because guess what? How many times has it happened that you're scrolling on Instagram and the first thing you do is check the comments? Just think about this scenario, right? Think about this. How effective this is. The first thing that your leads are most likely to do this. Your leads are most likely to open up Instagram. The first thing they see the reel. Now they're watching this reel, they're seeing the comments, and you can see a single keyword everybody's repeating. So now you have this curiosity inside of you to understand, okay, why are people commenting this same word? So you watch the reel to find out why people are giving that keyword in the first place. Now, once they watch the reel, if your script is good enough, and the fact that you've seen so many people comment the exact keyword, they are more likely to do that same thing. They're more likely to put that keyword in the comment, which in turn makes it such that you're able to create a scenario. There is a loop that you're creating in which your script causes people to comment, and your comments cause people to watch the reel, and because of the script they comment. You understand how high leverage this is? So for example, if there is one person who watches this video, they see the comments, they comment down below because of the script. You've got one comment. Now they've left the loop. The other person comes in, second view. They see a comment. They do another comment. So to know why they did the comment, they watch the reel, which it causes another comment. Do you understand how it stacks up? So every view, essentially you hit a point where in every view you get, sort of at some degree is going to amount to one comment. Not exactly, obviously, because not everybody's going to comment, but you get the point. You get my point. This is the fastest way to force Instagram to push your reel out to more people. I do this every single time. I've changed my entire scenario. You know what? I'm going to show you my Instagram tracker, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Look at my Instagram tracker. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. You can see like every part of my Instagram reels is tracked, right? So you can see these recent reels. For example, what is a good content strategy? It got 2.4k views, and it got 63 likes, 5 comments, 42 saves, 25 shares. Profile visits were 0. Really terrible, because the CTA was not good. Let's take a look at this one. This is the exact video that I showed you, by the way. 8,000 views at the time when I, actually inputted this into my tracker. It's got 42,000 views and more. You can see this. I had 151 people. 151 people come across my Instagram reel and were actually clicking on my profile and actually followed me. 151 people. Do you understand how high leverage this is? A single CTA without you needing to actually do anything, zero deliverables on your end, and you're able to create so much leverage that nobody has any other choice except to listen to what you have to say. This is the fastest way to do this. If you want me to help you out, you can, see my Instagram, which is linked in the description, or you can subscribe so that more people can come across this and more people can actually get value from this. Anyways, don't sacrifice your future self for the pleasure today. Peace.